because that is what people live in Africa, the message of cross as the greatest sign of God's love. And we see that evident in our places of work, in the experiences of our people, because we know, sometimes people like to say, get rid of the sufferings, but we know there are certain sufferings that we cannot get rid of, and that we have to live with. Now, how do we live with that kind of suffering in a way that is life-giving? And I think that is why Passionist life is going to grow if we focus on it. And that's why, even as a configuration, we have decided to remain as Africans, to actually inculcate into the lives of the people what this charism means for us. And we see, for example, that the sufferings that we are going through, that Africa is going through, is more or less the same as what was happening at the time of St. Paul of the Cross that gave rise to the congregation. And I think we have great hopes that the whole congregation will support Passionists in Africa to establish the structures they need so that they can actually contribute their own experiences to also enrich the rest of the Passionists. When we talked about the reasons why we need to restructure, it was basically for vitality. It was basically to renew our lives, and that is not only for the younger members, but it's also for the older members, because it is like a family. We're in a family, and in a family we know that there are those who have grown and they have lived that kind of experience. And their joy too will be in seeing that there are younger ones coming. And I think that is why the Synod and even the process is very important. It needs to evaluate, it needs to encourage vitality, life, not only in the young, but in the old as well. Because when you have given your life to a cause, and you are dying, you will be happy to see that what you have given your life to is not ending with you, but that there are some young ones coming to take up, continuing in the vision that you had, what you have given your life to. In Africa, for example, we have this idea of the living dead. Mm-hmm. And the idea of the living dead is that if you die and you have nobody to remember you, you are dead. But if you die, but you have still somebody to remember you, somebody to talk about your vision, to live for what you live, you are still alive. And that, I think, is very important for us, and even for the congregation. And definitely, in Africa, they are very available. As I said to you, and I said in the meeting, we are open to sharing. We want to give what we can give. That means our own experiences, but also our own expertise or personnel. Now, of course, since we are a growing entity, we also realize that there are also a lot of needs on the ground. I said to support and to encourage growth on the ground, we need to divide, because it is in the small entities that growth takes place. And I hope that it is during this process that we will reach a certain understanding where we know this is congregational project and we need to support it, and we avail men for it, and we will need also sort of a discernment to know, yeah, this maybe relevant to our culture, and therefore we don't need to avail men to it. And that is also the dialogue that needs to take place. But in the whole, the African configuration is very open to share the men, whenever is needed, to carry out the congregational project and mission. But that is not. Africa there's a lot of problems, not only financial problems, but many other wars even. But I find that in Africa there is a lot of freedom in that sense, that people are free and even eager to go to experience other ways of life in other places, or to have different experiences. There is a great openness towards different experiences, different opportunities. I think it's not just because we are young, but I think also it applies to the young particularly. They have a greater flexibility to go and extend and stretch their abilities in other configurations, with other kinds of different ways of being passionist. And I think it is important, since also we as Africans have in the past and still have different men coming from different backgrounds. We have people coming from Italy, we have people coming from Ireland, we have people coming from America. And I think that has enriched us. And we still believe that that can happen also during this restructuring, or the opportunity for interchange or exchange of men and personnel